Metemos o som. Agora é que a gente vai montar aqui o bicho. Beautiful.
Aonde? É que está aqui.
Nunca para dizer isso.
Mas está usando?
Não vê nada aí. Agora já fico negro.
Ah, está ficando aí.
Olha, preciso ir lá em cima, verdade?
Hello, I completely forgot to say hello at the beginning of the video. I'm editing right now, so I thought I'd just do a quickie, pop it in. I'm relaxing down here because it's been a busy week at the house. Lots and lots of work going on the walls, and it's made a massive difference. So I hope you could watch it through to the end. Nice to see one area that's been plastered. May only be a little area because we've got the entire house to do, but it's nice to get started on it. Every wall in this house has either got a plug socket on it or a switch, and we need to chase into the walls. James is going to do that, and he's going to make a bit of a mess. So I can't really start any plastering in this house until he's got that out of the way. This will be the first wall that we've done. This gap between here, by the way, that's a lot bigger than it looks, and so's that area in there. Easy to get stuff up in. And this area here, I've gone round, as you've seen beforehand, we had exposed stones. So I've just patched those in using a lime mix. That's what we're using over the whole of the house. This is the only area that's going to be boarded up because we've got all the water going through there. It makes much more sense. So this will be changing very quickly. And once we've got the front out of the way, we'll tackle this giant room. Section here, we're going to try and keep it as it is, bit of character, and point it. So while James is doing that, and I can't really do anything inside, today I'm going to continue, just so you know, for reference, where I'm standing underneath the stairwell at the front. This room here, which has been neglected, looking a bit skanky, we've emptied it out. It was basically just a junk room for our old cement bags and so on. But this does need to change, and I think this will look really nice when it's done. So I'm going to get some practice in this room, get this started. It's about 4 meters deep. Never have too much storage, that's for sure. We've got the garage and obviously the courtyard. Right, let's see what this looks like when it's finished. This room was incredibly fiddly because it's very narrow, but I have now got it rendered and it is drying, so it doesn't look particularly nice right now. You can see on the floor here, we're keeping the original terracotta tiles. That's going to look really nice. It's just a storage room, but once it's all dried out and swept out and painted, this is going to look really nice. In the meantime, back into the house, it's time to get all this plastered, and we're using a lime-based mix on here recommended by the manufacturer so that we can go directly over the existing plaster. And well, this is the area we're going to start in first. James has sorted out all the conduits. He's working his way around the house, and with a bit of luck, we'll start to transform this whole front area. Well, it's a little bit of a rubbish day today, and that makes it a little bit harder for us in here because it's quite dark. We've only got the one light at the moment. Yesterday, I did that section of wall, first base coat, and as you saw, I still used the meshing over the top as we did on the front of the house. That is helping us a lot. Then I did the front around the door. And in the meantime, James in here, because he's fitted all the conduits in place now, with all the plug sockets, he's now scraping off all the loose paint and any loose plaster. Hopefully, by the time you've watched this next bit, this wall and that wall will be completed. So on Tuesday, it was a nice day. We had to pop back to my house and, well, I was collecting something from Louisia's. So I'm going to let you see that now. And we've got some mushrooms as well, which hopefully, I'm really hoping this evening, we're going to be able to sample. So I'll see you in a second.
Vai lá ver aí, ó.
Straighten out.
No, that won't.
Where? Here. No.
Huh?
Okay. Yeah. Grab it. No.
Puxa essa merda aí.
Bloody door. Stop.
Tá, onde é que tá o ferro?
Tira lá dali aquele pau que
Peraí,
está ali.
espera, espera.
E está o pau.
Baixa.
There you go. Look at that.
Nice one.
Nice bit of wind, and that'll be back in your backyard.
That one. Cheers.
Don't forget.
Yeah, I'm going to put some legs on it
Yes.
and probably some wheels.
Oh, good idea. And the engine.
Not easier wheels.
And the engine. And the engine.
Be easier to bring it back to you.
I did say, didn't I, at the end of January, February, somewhere around that time, that we had these mushrooms somewhere dotted around this land. So while the guys are here, Louise is going to go hunting for them.
Right. Look, another one. Maneco é isso. Destaque aqui, mas não vai ser parte disso tudo.
Louise, what's the Portuguese for this?
Pucarinhas.
Ucarinha. Oh, look.
Mushroom.
Mushroom. Pucarinhas.
Wow. Look at that. I was expecting something that looked more like a truffle.
Yeah, when
You said they were truffles.
when they are small, they are. We don't call that name.
Pucarina.
Hey, cogumelo, but we call pucarinha.
Definitely not truffles. I believe how that pushed the soil up. With all the mushrooms.
Não dá pisar muito que encontra-os
It's amazing.
todos.
Bone dry. You see it all around here, but there's those yellow ones.
I had some of those the other day. Very nice.
Now, Louise.
Não, não.
Wow.
A gente combina. Tá bem? A gente vai combinar e depois a gente aprovar.
Wow. Look at that. What is it about where we're standing now that makes it different to the other cork trees?
Well,
E a porca... E a...
there are some places where we have not many bushes and not many things on the ground. There where they grow. They have some parts they grow, some parts you grow in. It's exactly the same, but
It always
not
seems to be
have
this
anyone.
part right here, doesn't it?
Normally, the soil cannot be moved with a tractor or something like that. Or you take about 10 years until you have them back again.
If you turn the soil.
Yes.
Which is quite surprising because it was turned, wasn't it? The year before I got here, it was turned. Yeah.
No, but you just cut on the top. You did remove the soil. You do. don't have everywhere.
So these, they grow pretty much everywhere, but for some reason Louise knows around my young cork trees here that every year they get good crops. They're quite heavy. That one you can see looks like a little potato, and that one there, something that I'm very intrigued to taste. So Anna, Louise's wife,
He's gonna
is
cook
going
them.
to cook these. Come in very handy for a little bit of storage, though the material around it isn't in the best condition. There's a rip in the underside of the roof, so it is going to need replacing because it's quite brittle. It's been out in the sun for many years, but the cage itself, being able to lift it up on the sides and the front, is going to make that very handy for something. But this used to be the cage that goes on the back of a truck, and I guess they were using it to transport animals around. But also Louise was telling me that on the markets that they have here in the villages, that if you open it up from the back of the truck, you can sell your vegetables. But I know if I was to make something like this, it will cost me a lot more than what I paid for it. So yeah, it'll have a good use somewhere down the line, and right now it's going to come in very handy for what I'm going to be using it for in the coming weeks.
Well, it looks like a mushroom, doesn't it?
Yes. But they have a completely different flavor. More
Definitely thicker than a mushroom. I like it.
One wall down. I think that's really changed it quite a lot. We are following the contours of the original walls, so we're not after perfection here, which is what we would have got if we'd plasterboarded it, and we want to retain as much of that character as possible. So getting it around these curves was a joy, I have to say. Yeah, don't want to be doing that every day. Need a little bit of touching up on that wall, and we're pretty much ready for the painting. And in this section here, James now has rendered 2 walls, and today, by the end of today, we're hoping to get the window one sorted out and the door sorted out, and then we're hoping by the end of this weekend we'll be good and ready to continue down into this section and get this done next week, or at least the bulk of it done next week. Blimey, is it hard work, and you can't stop, unfortunately, once you start. Those 3 holes, that's given us the airflow in the ceilings all the way around the top area here, which is obviously very good. And we are going to be putting in some vents and so on in the bathroom. And in this area here up top, we're going to be putting a couple of little vents in the boards themselves. And at the back, we have also got some holes. So there's plenty of air circulating around this house. That was something that was brought up in the last video. I think it was the last one or the one before. Must have been the one before, because the last one was the well. Anyway, we're going to crack on now and see how far we get with this, and hopefully we can get all that done and then tidy this whole area up. We do need to clear all of that before we start, so that's tomorrow's job. See how we get on. Okay, so James got a little bit to do over there. Going over these walls with the meshing is enabling us to do it quite flat. And what I'm trying to do is get it as smooth as possible at this stage so that when we put the top coat on, we don't have to do more than one coat really. The finish on there is pretty good. Got to let it dry off. We're using a different product for the top coat. But now we've got, after James has finished that, this whole room sorted out. All the other areas there in the top section of this house done, ready for that one coat. And the lovely thing about the product that we're going to be using is you can sand it down. So if we're not perfect with the trowel, then just smooth it off with some sandpaper, and we're going to get a really nice finish. I think it works really well. I'm getting the contours as well of around the windows, and in this case the door, as is something that's going to be quite a nice little feature. So what we're hoping tomorrow now is to clear out the whole of the downstairs, or at least move things out of the way, get all this swept up and leave these clear, then continue in that other room with the hope that by the end of next weekend we can get that entire downstairs section done, which is a big ask because we've got to go back up in the scaffolding. But it's encouraging to see us at this stage. It is hard work though, my arms are killing me, I have to say. And as we're doing this now 7 days a week until we've got the house more or less finished, it's going to be taking its toll on us, but it has to be done, and I'm pretty confident this is going to look nice. It's a bit of a shame because we've still got a little bit of plasterboarding to do, which is ruining the aesthetics of what we're looking at right now, what we've done, because this really is, for 4 days work now, getting this whole top section plastered, rendered, whatever you call it, is pretty impressive. Oh, but I'm creaking, so I'm going to have a very early night tonight, I know that much. I don't know if I've already mentioned this or not, but I'm going to tell you again if I haven't. This door frame here, we were reluctant to take it out because it is quite a nice little thing. It's the original door frame. So the plan is to sand it down lightly just to get rid of all the loose bits. And if it turns out that we're getting a little bit of wood showing through, then that doesn't matter because we probably end up with what I think is 3 sets of colours in here. We've got a light blue, we've got the wood for a start, the light blue, a darker blue, and there's a green in there. So if we sand that down, we'll decide when we get to it, but I think that'll be really nice. So now the next phase, and that's going to be next week, as I just said, is we want to move all this stuff out of the way. We shall see, that's all in the next video. So I'm going to disappear back home in a minute after I've moved a load of this stuff, and we'll go from there. Oh, got to get in the shelter area. Yeah, it's really windy. It's just picked up and the temperature's gone right down with it. Kettle on, gonna have a shower, freshen up, walk Will, early night, back at the house tomorrow. Yeah, we've got to go full on with that house now till we've finished it. And if we can get where we got this week, and I don't know if it comes across in the camera, but having those walls covered now has made such a huge difference visually from when you're standing in there. So if we can do the same with the back section next week, which is a big ask, but I think we can do it, though my arms are like jelly, especially after doing the well at the last weekend. Anyway, that's next week. Very excited too on Monday. I'm not going to jinx this, but I've got everything crossed, and I really hope I can tell you about this next week. Very, very exciting. Yeah, don't think about it. Right. Till then, look after yourselves, take care. See you next Saturday. Bye for now.